Proxy Table Gaming PTG. I'm Hyper G with Lucky Sixes.
Hello, how are we doing?
Good, good. Nice Monday morning, afternoon. Where did the morning go? I don't even
Uh,
know. It doesn't
Absolutely.
really matter because this will be released at the same
Yeah.
time, irrespective of when we're
Yeah.
recording. So, hey.
Definitely not Monday. Um,
No.
yes, but we are here. I'm very excited because for a while, this is the first in a while, we've got an in real life bat rep for you.
What?
Yes! We've been doing a lot
What?
of stuff lately on Warhol with tournaments and
Yeah,
just like practice battles and catching up with people in the 100 Club, and everyone's been like super engaging, which has been amazing.
yeah, yeah. Get in that club, boys and girls. Get in
Yeah,
that club.
and we got a bit more time for that as well. But there is always time for the bread and butter of this channel, which is
Oh,
in
yeah.
real life battle reports. Now, I went to a tournament in Reading called
Mm,
Bloodbath, which is quite a refreshing tournament because it's only 3,000 points. I
yeah.
played Sylvan Elves first, but it's really all based on just killing. It doesn't matter points wise. There's no 20-0 system. It is just
No.
how much you kill is how many points you get, and it's a one-dayer.
Great.
So it was a total of 9,000 points in terms of the battle available. Obviously, at 9,000, you probably win. But also, there's some points available for the secondary as well. So if you get the
Yeah.
secondary, you get an extra 500 points. We'll get onto that in a sec. But my list was beast heads. So
Mm,
being 3,000 points is a bit smaller. I already had a few models already painted, and this is a bit my own hobby project sort of thing in terms of all the armies and things. So I take a bit more time on the models, try and like do a bit basing and stuff like that. And I had a Gortak in a box uh,
oh
around here.
no. Oh no.
So
I don't like the way this is going.
I thought, well, if I need a reason to paint it
Oh.
up, this
Oh
is
no, I
this
do
is
like
the
the way
one.
this is going. I thought you were about to say it smashed into smithereens and you couldn't take it or something.
Yeah, no,
But no.
no, unfortunately not. It's actually for anybody who wants to zoom in. I'm not gonna get it. No, you have to.
No.
That's yeah. So you're on. It's the back of the model, and it's really small there. So if you can see
Right.
that, well done. But yeah, it's
Well, you're about to see pictures of it anyway
you
that are
you
probably
are.
slightly closer than that.
So
Because,
don't worry, folks.
yeah.
But yeah, so I had that, and I decided I needed for a long time. I don't have too many chariots, so I wanted to buy
Mhm.
some chariots. It's a bit of a staple of the beast herds anyway. So I
Yeah.
bought three Renin chariots, and I did them up in about 2.5 weeks. And there's
Okay.
still a bit, probably still a bit more I can add to it in terms of detail and things like that. But all in all, they're tabletop standard and probably my best tabletop standard that I can achieve
Ooh.
as well. So it was really really fun to have that as a project. Just going into a tournament, tournaments always sort of help you out a bit like that. And the rest I kind of had. I sort of did it for what models I had available, as well as the Gortak and impending chariots. But yeah, so my base test list was a Soothsayer Adept. It's about as much as I could squeeze in at 3,000 points with Shamanism. Well, it's nice to try that. It's got Eye of Dominance, and I'll take us down um, so you can see it. It has got Eye of Dominance, but that was mainly because I just had 15 points available, to be honest, more than anything. Um,
Okay.
the Centaur Chieftain is my staple. Whether he's any good, actually any good on the table in terms of battles, is questionable at best. However, I love him.
Questionable.
I love him as an option, and for sure I'll be taking a look at how well he does. This is Krugar, my Centaur Chieftain. He's
Yep.
on his own. He has Wild Warding, which gives him 2 up armor save, and he has Hawthorn Cursed, which is the uh, essentially bolt thrower, but bolt thrower lance on him as well. So he packs a bit of a punch at 4 attacks, strength 8 if he charges, because of all
Nice.
the um, drunken things, etc.
Yep.
And he has the strength 6 bolt thrower essentially that always hits on a 3+. So uh, on paper, I think he's great. In actual fact, what does he achieve is probably the thing, and it's something we're going to be looking out for here. I have a 23-man unit of Wild Horn paired weapons. I have with the Blooded Horn, of course, to give them that extra pip of strength. 2 units of Minotaurs with paired weapons and Blackwing Totem. That is purely just, I mean, I think Carnage helps with this because it doesn't matter if you die, you just have to tear up the opposition, and that is what they do best. So the frenzy's a bit of a thing to look out for. You have to overrun with them, and pursue where you can. So you've got to be a little bit careful. But I wasn't really thinking too much about that in the armor list thing. Gargoyles, because gargoyles are great. Actually, going to see if they can fight at some point as well. 2 attacks, 4.
Right. Yeah.
They're not something to be sniffed at. They'd have the reroll to hit as well, potentially. Gortak, because as you've seen in our review, and if you haven't, go and see in the review. Well, I had the model, right? So that is the actual reason I did it. But you look at the stats, and it's got triple buffed, basically, for 3.0. So I'm very excited to actually play it as well. And then rounding the list off with the Beast Giant, Uprooted Tree. I can't fathom any other way to use him. I know there's extra strength and stuff, and you do like AP, but always hitting with your rage attacks and Big Brother to make him even more ragey, potentially.
Ragey, I like that.
I just see, I just can't see any other way to use him, and 300 points or just under is pretty good as well. That was my list. We move on to the Sylvan Elves. And I was very. This is James Ledward. So this was.
Yes.
Is it a forest? What's his YouTube? Forest Follows.
Forest Explorer. I've been looking for it. I don't know if you can.
It's AAA gaming.
Yeah.
So on YouTube, go and check him out. He's very good. He
does amateur's adventure.
An amateur's adventure.
That's what it stands for.
James Ledward.
He's actually got a battle report up of it. Actually.
Oh, so, fantastic. I haven't watched that. So
no, he hasn't.
After this.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't got it up yet. He's catching up. He released one that he played in Art of War. So I think if we hold him to it, if we make him do it,
absolutely,
he's going to release a battle report of this from his side.
You've been
challenged.
That'd be awesome. AAA.
Yes. Yeah. Get on it, James.
But yeah, he's an absolute stand-up guy anyway. I hadn't played for it in a little while since Art of War, which is actually on table, the same as me, although I have been playing Warpool in between. But yeah, so and he challenged me, grudged me.
I thought you were going to say he cheated. I was like,
no.
Challenge. Okay,
yeah.
That's all right.
I obviously accepted, but then I was like, oh no, he's Sylvan, isn't he? So that could be quite a bad matchup. But in the end, it's quite a fighty list, which is what I want to see as a thing. I know it's Carnage, so maybe some of the lists will be sort of tailored a bit more into combat, which is good. But it wasn't your typical shoot and standoff list for Sylvan Elves. I was like, oh, we're actually going to have a game, so it's okay. It doesn't matter. So he has a Forest General on Forest Dragon, sorry,
which you already approve of.
Yes, yeah.
So you're already happy.
Already happy. That is a model I have actually as well. Up here. The lazy man. It's there. Look at it. Zoom in. Whatever. Don't care. Actually, they can't because the cameras are off. Hang on a sec. It's there.
Oh. No, you can. No, you've got no excuses.
Yeah.
You've seen it.
But yeah, then and the Rod of Battle, just to give an extra spell. One Dryad Ancient with an Adept on Divination, which was interesting to see. 22 Dryads with Standard Musician. 2 lots of Heath Riders as your chaff sort of jobbies. 23 Forest Rangers, the big unit. High agility. It's going to be the main thing there. But they are squishy elves. Flame and Standard doesn't really come into this one, but yeah. 7 Wild Huntsmen, absolute carnage, absolute carnage. With lances, so they'd be like strength 4 or 5, 4 I think. No, 5 with lances.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, very worried about them. And then two lots of Kestrel Knights, which I found out during the game that they're strength 6 on the charge.
Yeah. That's
Which
pretty tasty, isn't it? Pretty
which
spicy, that.
does then say, when I say they're chaff, sort of suggest otherwise.
Oh, they're not.
but yeah, so but very very quick, obviously flyers as well. And
Yeah.
last minute chaff if he needed it, which spoiler, he doesn't. So yeah, onto the objective and deployment. We play Cornerstone, which is the well, you'll see in a sec, and secure target. So basically, there were no secondary objectives. There was just a primary. So back to old school, I guess, if you will. And if you got it, you got an extra 500 points. So that was cool.
So if you got your 9,000 points that you mentioned earlier, you still might not win if you didn't get your objectives.
Because there's actually
you killed everything the opponent got, but you just ignored the objective.
Yeah. There was so a total of 10,500 was your max. Although even then, they did a really cool thing, which I very much approve of. Is that if you brought someone new to the game or hadn't played in a couple of years, to the tournament, you get 1,000 points each for yourself.
Oh, nice!
And for the new.
This was run by Ben, wasn't it? This tournament,
yes,
Ben Dunford, very valued patron of ours. So,
another top land as well. So yeah, it was just it was a super chilled and fun environment, and I really liked the idea that new or returning players got extra points just because they haven't played for a while. So everything about it I loved. Obviously for me as well, it was a bit of a hobby project.
I mean, we couldn't even fool people into saying that we're new to the game or that we've been away a while, because we just report every week. I mean, we can't even lie.
It's everyone's excuse before a battle, isn't it? It's like, I haven't played
just
in
to
a
get that 1,000 points.
Yeah. I didn't even look at my list when I did it. All that stuff. But yeah, more of a close-up picture. Here is the army all in.
I like the chariots.
Yes, so chariots and the Gortak are the new ones. I've got a few more bits of detail on the Gortak that I like to do, but otherwise, pretty much all tabletop standard and based the same as well, which is my project basically. Did
it smell nice?
The
beasts smell nice, don't they?
Yeah, I use herbal. I think it's herbal pregnancy tea, actually, which is not a hint for anything.
You're not pregnant.
I'm not pregnant. I know. I got asked several times on the weekend, but no, I'm not. Yeah, so there is a list, all in, and yeah, very very happy to get it on the table and start doing. The blue sword guy is my shaman, and
nice.
centaur is there. So on to. I'm going to put us up because I think for the most part, behind us, if you can see, if everyone's watching,
it's Kruger.
No, Kruger
on the Heath Riders.
but it's the Heath Riders next to the secure target. Yeah. That's him.
They're not scoring though, are they?
They're not scoring, but they are Vanguard.
No. Yeah.
So they're there. So where I am now is I'm 5 Heath Riders. But yes, so this is after each of our Vanguards. I'm the defending player, so I chose my Gortak to Vanguard.
Okay.
You couldn't do characters, I think is the thing. You can't.
That's correct. Yeah, they can't run. Yeah.
But my giant and Kruger already have it by being sober.
So similarly, you can't choose a unit that's got a character deployed in it because of that character thing. Correct. So yeah.
But that would only ever be my wild horns. So yeah. Yes. So I have my giant who's vanguarded, my light troops chariots, which I thought they were. And then I put them down and we started, and I was like, I'm just going to check that they're light troops, because that's otherwise a terrible place to put them.
Right behind the tower, yeah.
Yeah, but so my thought there is just to put them behind the giant, let the giant go, and then have them for late game charging. Minotaurs with gargoyles. Then I've got the wild horns in the middle with Minotaurs to the side of them, the Gortak, and then right out the side is Kruger.
Ready to chuck his spear.
Yeah, he dropped. So he's got the Heath Riders, Dryads with some Kestrels behind, the big unit of Forest Rangers, the Dragon, Kestrels, the Wild Huntsman, and then, as I said, behind me, the Wild the Heath Riders who have vanguarded up. He dropped for first, and I immediately knew that I wanted my Gortak against his Wild Huntsman. Even on the charge, they're wounding me on 6s because I'm res 7. So that was just a risk I was ready to take.
Yeah.
So obviously, if I get the charge on them, it's still 6s.
They're toast.
But but they don't have the AP and stuff like that, etc. But yeah, so I was fine to have that, and once I could get Vanguard onto the hill, I was pretty happy with my deployment in that regard. The dragon is at this point in time the only thing that's strength 6. So I'm like, he's the only one that's going to wound my Gortak on okay-ish levels, apart from the infantry, and they're not anywhere to be seen.
With the press of ranks thing. Yeah.
Otherwise, I was just like, we'll just move up. We'll try and get as many kills. If I can get one unit of Minotaurs into one of his infantry blocks, then the other one should come in and mop up. But the Forest Rangers are a tough ask. He's obviously put his forest in the middle of us as well. So we go on to, so that was a deployment.
Nice.
But we go on to his movement, and it's fairly tentative to start off with. I should say as well is that we had an absolute great time in this battle. So much so that towards the end, the pitches get a bit quicker. But I thought the rounds were 2 hours 45, which is like a standard kind of thing. They're 2 hours 15. So halfway through, even though 1 hour left, I was like, "What? We've only just started." We were chatting a lot, and it's probably my fault to be honest. But yeah, so he puts his Kestrels over behind his Heath Riders on the left, and otherwise moves his Dryads basically up. Neither of us care about forests in this regard, but I think he gets stubborn if he's in a forest.
Okay.
So, one of his units do anyway. Moves up fairly tentatively with the Giant and the Forest Rangers as well, with the Wild Huntsman just zoning the area and the Heath Riders chaffing me, with the Kestrels actually getting a massive way into my flank as well. So I'm a bit, looking at my Gortak right there. Not too worried too much, and the Gortak's basically, I was quite pleased actually, because I was like, well, if my Gortak goes in, it might get done by Kestrels and Wild Huntsman, but I think I can overrun to out of the line of sight of the dragon, and that's like the main thing right now. In his shooting, he only gets 1 wound on my Giant, so he's a little bit miffed at this point.
Okay.
Not angry, miffed.
No, not ragey, just like
And that takes me on to my turn. I obviously take the bait here. Why not? It's carnage. It's bloodbath.
Yep.
And I move up like so. The light troops chariots successfully maintaining their light troops.
Negotiate
status.
the tower.
And move up there. The Giant kind of stayed not too. He didn't go too far because I didn't want the Dryads to have an easy one. But I don't want to be combo charged at the same time as well. So Minotaurs just come up to basically stop that gap, with the Gargoyles coming up to potentially chaff next turn, and the Wild Horns and Minotaurs follow in the middle. Again, Krugar goes into a space where he's in the flank of the Wild Huntsman, so has a nice bolt thrower shot over there at the top right there, so which is really cool. I get Swarm of Insects off to whittle down some numbers, but essentially this meant they didn't have 4 ranks, which is my huge thing for my Gortak really. If he ever went into that, I really didn't want them. So my first thought, with this being having like a few days to prep, was like, I just need to get both of these infantry blocks below 4 ranks. Yeah. So just so that's not a thing. Very good. That was successful there. Over here, I rolled a 1 to hit.
Okay. Good start, Kruger. Good start.
Okay. It was funny though. I rolled it, and then I moved the dice next to Kruger and took a picture, and he was like, "Why are you taking a picture of that?" I was like, "Well, funny story. I think he's going to do nothing in this whole tournament, and I want to document it."
Oh, I thought your answer was going to be that's what staff would do, because I always
Oh
take
right,
picture of crap dice.
no,
You know.
no. Oh yeah, I'm not too bothered. And it's only my first roll, but I'm like, if he does nothing all game, and I want people
You
to know
want
that
it documented, yeah.
I've tried to put him in the best position. It's just him. So yeah, but anyway,
Yeah.
Gore-Tex goes through and is actually out of line of sight of the dragon, which is fantastic. He rolled
Right.
a few inches more than needed. Is in the front with the Wild Huntsman, and yeah, it's a bit of a risk because I know I'll get lots of attacks, but I think the wounded
He
on
was
six is
tough.
hard. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Not the Kestrels though,
it's at
which
this
you don't
point I
realise.
found out about the Kestrels, and I try.
Yeah.
You know, like you get your poker face. You're like, okay, yeah, cool, yeah, that's right, six. All right. In my mind, going, no, recharge, no. But
Yep.
yeah, we'll see. We will see.
Kestrel lances up the bum.
Luckily for me, kind of. He took his Kestrels
Oh.
into the side of my Minotaurs to try and whittle them down, which I actually thought was a good tactic. Especially then finding out at the strength 6, you're like, okay, something I didn't consider, so he completely duped me there. And the Wild Huntsman,
Yeah.
he kind of realised when we said, and he was like, oh no, he's res 7, isn't he? I was like, yeah. He kind of read it, but he was like, what else are they
But he
going
still
to do?
took it. Oh, I would have
Yeah.
run past him. I would have run past the Gore-Tex. I literally stood next to him.
Yeah.
Come out the Minotaurs.
Yeah, so
yeah.
he went, like, go on, let's do it. And obviously, on that point, I was like, oh, okay, I'm excited to see that. His Dryads move back, and he sort of fizzles around in that top left corner. And his dragon comes up unbothered by anything. Obviously,
Yeah,
with my
too
Gore
right.
attack, if I do win, I'd have to wipe them out to not pursue them. I'd also, if I turned, I couldn't charge anyway, so he's pretty safe there. The only one that is dubious, I guess, is if I just completely mush the Kestrels without them doing a thing to me.
Yes.
But yeah, we'll
With
see
only
about
two
that.
Minotaurs, it's unlikely. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, otherwise is Forest Rangers stay back so that they don't get easy charged by the Minotaurs on the left. Some arrows come in and do a few more wounds. He's a bit more than miffed. He's
Mildly agitated.
deterred. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Over here he does 7 wounds to me, which I thought was quite a lot. It's quite good. But thankfully my guys with their 6 attacks because of height 3.
What?
With battle focus and rerolls to hit,
Nah,
did like 8 wounds. It was just,
That's a bit mean.
Yeah,
that is a bit mean.
And they only have 2 each, so they died. And
gosh.
I was free, which was surprised. They did some work though, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they killed the Kestrels probably means my idea to march the Huntsman past the Gore-Tex would have been a terrible one then, because now the Minotaurs are free to charge what they like.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think either of us really saw me doing. I think I rolled hot in this combat though, so yeah. Over here, I want to say 4 wounds in combat, but he does 4 as well. One of mine though is the lethal attack, so I get that back. And I'm pretty happy with where we're at that point. He's only got 3 left. He's off the charge. And yeah,
you've got 4 left at this point?
I've only got 3 left. I've got 6 wounds in total. So that is his big downside, is that he's only got 6 wounds because all the monsters got an extra wound. But obviously he got all the other things.
Extra
so
res.
I'm not moaning, but that is his weak point, I guess.
Sounds like you're moaning.
Sounds like I'm moaning. hashtag moaning, not moaning.
Yeah.
In a similar manner to himself, this is Bloodbath, and either he's going to charge around my flank, go into me, and mess me up. So there's not much else these guys can do. So I'll try and get a few wounds in. My thought is if we can get a few wounds in here, then Gore-Tex becomes a real problem for him with the multiple wounds D3. Krugar decides not to charge because I bought him as a shooting thing. And I want to use him as a shooting thing. I'm going against all my instincts here to not charge into the Wild Horns. And go just leave Gore-Tex to it.
Yeah, you don't need
but there
to.
Was there was a thing. But I was like, okay, I'll go into that. And my Minotaurs find a lovely gap in the Forest Rangers flank. Had to use my Giant to chaff with the Dryads. But it does a good job there. So I've got the chariots as well to back him up also.
Yeah.
That's cool. Krugar goes and does 2 wounds.
Yes, success.
Yeah. So happy there. It doesn't really make any difference to that unit now that I've got them now, but it's 2 wounds. So
yeah.
What's that points wise? I don't know. I forget one which the Forest Rangers.
It's probably about 50, isn't it?
About 50 points so far. Thank you.
Maybe.
Thank you, Kruger. Over here, I do mop up, and he doesn't do. I think he does 1 wound to me, which I lethal strike.
Lethal strike back. Nice.
So that's great for me, and I turn around. I think I turn around. I possibly have to pursue him, but I think I do.
And run him down.
Yeah, I think I do. I think I turn around if I'm honest. Over here, I do 1 wound to him, not quite as much as I wanted, and he does 3 wounds to me, 4 wounds to me, but we hold. Even with the +3 agility, which meant we were going at the same time, I think, as his I think his guy. Oh yes, because he forgot that Elven Finesse and Great Weapon just drops you by 1. So it's quite an important thing that I got the charge and this off. As you see, I turn my Gortak onto his turn, and his Forest Rangers get a bit frisky. Yeah. Dryads go into the Giant along with the Kestrels, and now obviously I know about the Kestrels, so I'm like, okay, yeah, they've only got... I've got 6 wounds.
Yeah.
Over here, this was his Heath Riders doing a wound to my Gortak.
Okay.
Just see it under the
chipping away. Yeah.
And over here, this is them all getting in to combat.
I was going to say, did he shift his Dryads because of the? Doesn't matter. You can't corner chaff with a Giant anymore, can you? So
yeah, that was it. Was just to chaff him rather than to do anything. Make sure we're in front of whatever, no overruns, etc. The Forest Rangers, along with their Dragon's help, do go through the Minotaurs. Although I take 5 or 6 of them out on the way, which is pretty happy with that. So we'll see how we go there. I've got Gortak in the side and a big unit in the front. So we'll see how that goes. But the Dragon takes no wounds, so it just turns around like so. The Giant dies. He's so angry.
Did it get to stomp? Probably not.
No, I think it died before because all of their attacks go first. So I was in that situation, like any Giant owner, just hoping that he does 8 out of the 9 wounds. And you can do 8, and so I was like, yeah, you can have 5. I'll let you have 5 wounds, and then I had to.
James wasn't playing ball.
No, he wasn't. I decided not to charge the Dragon, but to charge the side here, and he flees. From it.
Cool. That is the thing.
So not from terror or anything, but he did choose to flee, so that it meant that my ones weren't then weren't able to charge them because he goes into these ruins area. Takes a few wounds. We'll probably see in a second. My chariots decide a long charge into the Dryads. I think I need a 6 here, but I'm like, well, if I can get in, don't care about the forest. Again, whittling them.
Why not the Kestrels?
Don't know. Decided to go there. I think the scoring is the thing, and I want to hold them up a bit so they can't get too close, and to whittle them down so my Minotaurs could possibly deal with them.
Okay.
But yeah, so this is showing that, and then I successfully redirect, even with the undisciplined one, unruly, and Kruger sent the Gortak and the unit go into the.
He's got nothing to chuck anything at now, has he? So you know,
not really. So over here, I get 2. I have an amazing magic phase where he can't spell a thing, and just dice him on both, and looking pretty good at this point. Although I should say, when we go into combat, I don't actually need their attacks at all. Kruger and the Gortak go. And he whiffs his own attacks because I think he does go first at the same time.
The rider definitely would, yeah.
But I managed to Kruger and the other guys, so a half and half with Kruger. So that's like 300 points for Kruger. Well done.
Yeah, superb.
We all overrun like this, apart from Kruger, who turns to face the Heath Riders, just so that I can see the Forest Rangers. Over here, I fail with my chariots anyway.
Oh, okay. Right.
And I get return volleyed. The gargoyles chaff the Dryad so that they can't go into the Minotaurs, but the Minotaurs have a counter charge, so I'm not too worried there. Essential chaff duties this time, no attacking for the gargoyles.
No.
They get some spells off as well, just to. Chariots aren't that tanky, so.
Oh, is it first battle blues for the chariots?
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so.
Being charged by the Kestrels.
Gortak takes a wound as well, so he's down to 1 wound here. That's pretty scary.
Yeah.
It was first battle blues for the chariots. Failed a charge, then died to some chaff. So that's what that's a story that will be told long into the day.
Yeah, must do better.
Gargoyles die, but that's to be expected. And the Minotaurs go in to them to respond in kind. Krugar comes this way. I get Awaken the Beast as my soul spell off, which is pretty nice. I'm now wounded on them on 2s instead of 3s. Okay. Yeah. Kruger actually does, I think, 4 wounds to this, and they fail their panic and run off the man! It's points, baby! So he's let's say that's about 200 points. He's about 550 points racked up in this game. Pretty good for Kruger.
There you go. That's why he started slow. He was just building up to it.
Yeah. Over here, we both do some damage to each other, but we end up holding.
Okay.
And this is the state of play after my turn. I think this is my turn.
Run down those forest rangers.
Where the pitches get a little bit. Then I go. We've only got 15 minutes. Oh my god. So in the end, I think this might be the end. So the Gortak goes and charges. I think he moves over first so that he can charge again. But they basically run away, take some more DTs. And leave me with a soul thing. The Minotaurs actually end up losing the grind, which I was surprised at.
Okay.
But so they don't get caught, though, and the Dryads stay there to try and get the objective a bit, I think. No, completely wrong. They charge them. I flee, and they will see if they can overrun into... Well, they'll go 4 inches and stuff. They end up there. Kestrel's hide on his turn. Yeah. And this is one of the last things where his Forest Rangers have held, which is I was like, they're leadership 9 discipline, whatever, but you're like, there's a chance. But there wasn't a chance. The Kestrels are hiding and securing that. The Wildhorns go in to the Dryads, and thankfully for me, the Minotaurs survive a rally.
That's amazing,
well, which is really, really good. But I mean, it doesn't cost me any points or anything like that, but it does cost James. So it's I was like, I didn't really mind if they died because it didn't do anything, but
points for your opponent,
James, over here, Krugar goes and gets 3 to get half points on this.
Hey, Krugar's going to take all the points for that.
Absolutely,
yeah. He was solely responsible for that.
Yeah, so that's pretty good there. And it is my last battle. It's not.
Big announcement. Whoa!
Retirement looms. No, that's not my last picture.
Well, you are pregnant.
So, they take 3 wounds, so they do take a panic, but obviously past that. The Dryads die to my Wildhorns, who get Awaken the Beast off, which does go along with the Strengthful Mana as well. Absolutely annihilate them with the +1 to wound and stuff. I end up getting the objective as well, I think. I want to say we might draw actually because I think he had 1 extra turn.
He probably was sitting there a little while,
end of play. I get 2,483 points out of 3,000, which I'm pretty happy with.
That's really good.
The Minotaurs rallying and the Gortak just surviving on 1 wound, he only gets 1,414. But a respectable number still. I think if I do this, we draw the objective, which I'm not sure. I think we end up getting 250 points each. or something
right,
like that.
okay.
So I'm not sure. I
Sure.
wasn't exactly sure because it was all pen and paper. It was a quality thing. But yeah, so I wasn't sure exactly, but I didn't get the extra 500 points. We shared it, or I got naught. Either one. But yeah, a really fun battle, and thank you, James, for it, and a nice get start for the beasts really, and Krugar as well. Actually,
Yeah.
mattered in that battle.
He got there in the end. Yeah, well
He
done.
did.
Nice one. Okay, so we'll move into round 2 shortly in the old bloodbath and see how many more points you can rack up, how much more blood you can
Yeah, man.
splay all over the battlefield. Good to see on the table. It's very, very
It
nice. It
is.
makes
Yeah.
me very jealous that I wasn't there. So yeah, good stuff. All right, we'll see you in round 2, folks.
Yep. See you later.